Hi and welcome to the latest Project Warhammer, and the Nighthaunt army is coming on. So just to show you where it was as of last week, so I had the 720 point army that I originally went for. A lot of it very much based on just what models I'd got from the Age of Sigmar box that I could actually use in a legal army, which is not actually that much, and with minimum other ones to get into it, to get it painted really quickly. So 20 Chain Rasp Horde there, 8 Glaive Wraith Stalkers, which I'm not actually very keen on using long term, but they're there and they're painted. 5 Hex Wraiths and a Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed, that could be the general at the back, and a Guardian of Souls Wizard in the middle of all that lot. So, what I've done now, I need a suitable background for this, is I have painted the black coach. It's now done to my standard. It doesn't hold up to close scrutiny at all, but it's painted. It can be used on the battlefield. It was a bit of a nightmare. So the way I went about this, obviously complex model like this, there's obviously going to be a certain amount of this you're going to have to paint before finally assembling. You can't assemble the whole thing and then paint it. But I removed it into as many units as I could as well beforehand. Basically, when I'm assembling it, like I'm doing with the models now that I have, I start assembling it. As soon as I get to a point where adding the next bit in the assembly would make me think, I'm going to have difficulty painting certain nooks and crannies in there, then I stop at that point and I just keep it as a separate unit. So I had a number of components, but then because you then have to glue it back together at the end, and if you just undercoated all that and painted everything, the bits where you join it together with the paint in there are not going to be ideal. So what I did, I got some blue tack. This is what I've been doing with models as well, where I want to paint them in different sections. Get some blue tack on the points of contact, put that over it, and then you can undercoat it and then and paint it all, and it's okay. So, I mean, first of all, the painting, it sort of ended up sort of how I envisaged it. It never works out actually how I envisaged it, because I don't envisage things as badly painted as I actually make them. But, you know, I think across a battlefield, the way I judge it in terms of my painting, I've already said I don't like painting. It's a chore for me. I like the fact that we get to paint the models. I'm not saying I wish they came pre-painted, so to speak, or that if I had the money I would pay someone to paint them for me. I don't think I would. I like the fact that I get to paint them, as in determine the colour scheme and everything like that, but not the fact that I have to paint them. And therefore, I don't want to spend the time learning how to get better, or spending the time on just spending more time on making it better, because I'd rather spend that time on other things. So, it's all right. I think it's okay. You just don't look too closely at it, that's all. But I have to say, one of the things I tried to do is like the base there, you can almost sort of see. It went a little bit wrong, because what I did, and I know what I should have done now, the base was the worst part of it, because I thought to myself, right, there's 3 points of contact on the base. But I like to texture, or for this army, like for different armies, I'm texturing them in different ways. For this army, I'd already started texturing it with the traditional, which I always used to favour, PVA glue with, you know, sand, basically different, you know, grades of sand, like modelling sand, and then undercoat that, and then one sort of colour as a base, and dry brush another colour over it, and then another one highlight. So this is like a purpley underneath with a darker grey, and then dry brushed with a lighter grey there. The purpley thing is just supposed to be, you know, shyish, necromantic magic, all the rest of it. So what I did is I thought, well, the whole thing isn't assembled, so I can't really just put it on the base and see where those points of contact are going to be. So I tried to hold it together before I'd undercoated anything, hold it all together as best I could and stick it on there and sort of try and work out where they would be. And I thought I'd marked out where I thought they were going to be and put blue tack over that, so that and then undercoated the base at the same time as everything else. Thought, great, done, job's a good one. Now, so what happened was, once I'd painted all the different bits, and then started to assemble it. So then you had the arduous task of taking all the blue tack off. Sometimes it's not all that obvious to find out where the blue tack is because there's now the undercoat over it. So I'd get the instruction manual out again and see, okay, where does it join? Okay, that must be some blue tack there. Oh, yes, it is. Take that off. And getting all the bits of blue tack out is no straightforward matter either, without knackering the paint either side of it. But, you know, I got that sorted. There were lots of points of contact. Then started to assemble it. And as I started to assemble it, first of all, some bits are not easy. I have to say, I want to do a separate video on what I think of the new models. In some ways, I do quite like how it's come on, their craft has come on, and they certainly look visually stunning when a good modeler and painter makes them. But for a lazy bugger like me, when it comes to these sort of things, they're a bloody nightmare. On average, they're a damn nightmare. So yeah, so this one I was getting it, and some of the things were just not straightforward at all. It was starting to get a little bit of a mess, but never mind, got there in the end. But then when I was getting towards it, I sort of realised that the base, the points of contact were just completely well out, just out completely. And I thought, oh no. So of course, plastic glue gluing it down was a non-starter. So I was thinking, well, super glue. I think in the end I managed to get 2 of the points of contact down in the holes that I'd made for them, and the third one I was thinking of like bunging some PVA glue in and then painting that. In the end I didn't even do that. I just thought, in the end, I think because it's plastic anyway, there's no metal bits. One of the advantages of the fact that they're all plastic now is they're quite lightweight, so a couple of points of contact, it's actually okay, it's fine. So it seems to be okay. But what I now realise I should have done, I do not know why, for the life of me, I do not know why I didn't do this to begin with. Such an idiot. But this is the problem sometimes as well. So, like, when you've got a complex model like this, you know, you're doing it for the first time, and especially when you're trying to do something in your own way, you learn things by doing it, and you think, oh, you know, if I were to do another, I would totally make a way better job of it. I'm not planning on spending 80 quid on getting another one. One is fine. I don't need another one. And I'm not spending that much money on just doing a better job of it either. But what I should have done was not to have done the base until last. Why did I didn't even need to undercoat the base at the same time as all the other bits. Should have painted all the other bits, assembled everything else, then seen when the points of contact are, marked them out accurately, then put the blue tack over those bits, textured the base, undercoated the base, painted the base. That wouldn't take that much. And, you know, while this was already assembled and painted and just waiting, and then when that was done, then put it on, it would have all been perfect. Why didn't I do that? What an idiot. But, you know, you learn these things, you do it. The problem is that useful learning point will probably not come in useful ever again. Maybe it will on another model for another army, I don't know. I bet it won't, because this has to be the craziest model that I have seen them produce, even of all the sort of new models. It just seems to be the craziest. Because the thing is, the base is huge, huge. And yet it extends across the base, both directions. It goes further forwards than the base, further backwards than the base. You know, there's quite a lot of models like this. And I'm thinking, well, with Age of Sigmar, especially in some battlefields where you've got sort of terrain, it might be quite difficult to get it to fit in. You know, when its base is perfectly fine. But, you know, if I want to get it in the middle of a load of units or something, it's going to be easy, is it? Bit of a pain in the neck. But anyway, it's there, it's done. I now have 1,000 point Nighthaunt army, exactly. Not necessarily if I was planning a 1,000 point Nighthaunt army, the exact one I would go for, but it is a 1,000 point Nighthaunt army. So then it's sort of the next ones. I've undercoated basically everything else I need to make a 2,000 point army. Again, not necessarily the 2,000 point army I want, but if I were to paint everything I've now undercoated, that would make a 2,000 point army. So that's all fine. So I just need to be chipping away at that each week, a little bit more on that one. I've also started reading those battle terms I got and already got a Nurgle army in the planning, but that's for next year, Nighthaunt, for now. So there we go with the black coat. There it is in all its misplaced glory. Let me know what you think of it. Anyway, I think across the battlefield, I'll just about get away with it. I think it'd be all right. You know, no one's going to go, ooh, or anything like that. But they'll go, yeah, it's painted. That'll do. And I shall try and endeavour to get a photo with its rest of its team for next week as well, and hopefully update with a few of the other bits and pieces that I've been doing. And as I say, I want to do a separate video on just what I think about, you know, the new way of building up armies these days, as it now seems to be, at some point in the next week as well. So thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for further content. Share with other people who might also be interested. And until next time, I will see you later.